Hello. So today the moon is waxing in Libra. The insight for today is you have to be able to judge situations and people adequately. Being fair-minded and open to others' opinions will prove to be beneficial to developing your own. We can utilize Libra sign to develop our judgments about what we are experiencing and to recognize the value people bring to our lives. So this insight hit me like a ton of bricks this morning. I was with Alden. We were walking our kids to school, and they were riding their bikes. We were walking, running, trying to keep up with them. And we get to the school, and at first they had some issues with Atlas and Alden, and Alden was taking care of dealing with them, and I was in charge of, or I took charge of, putting the bikes on the rack. So I'm putting the bikes on the rack, and I'm putting in there, and I had the thought that, Alden would not like the way that I'm putting these bikes together, but I felt like it was fine. I put I took the chain or the wire, and ran it through the tires on the rack. So I'm like, and take this is fine. And so Alden come, and he's like, you locked that up wrong, right? I was like, no, I didn't. Can't no one take this? He was like, no one can't take the tires, but they can take the bikes because you didn't tie up the body. You didn't lock up the body of the bike. So all they would need is some pliers, and they'll be able to take the bike. And honestly, in that moment, it felt like, I don't think this is that big of a deal. If somebody's going to go through that much trouble to have the thing take the bike, but then they won't have a wheel. So it's kind of like, to me, I kind of felt like he was being petty, and in a way, kind of like, first off, I didn't even ask you for your help. I had it. Like, he always does this. He always want to offer me opinions and advice, and when I'm doing stuff, especially when I feel like I got it, I had it. It was fine. It was taken care of. And then, and he come with his opinions, and I'm like, okay. And literally, I can feel he felt a certain type of way, like almost like he wanted me to do it or something, or him to do it, because that's what he do. He always want to lock up the bikes. That's what he want to do, And when he's not there, I do it, and everything be fine. Like, the bike still be there when we get back. No one took the bike, So, and in that moment, we was walking away from the school, and I can tell he's really like bothered by it, like, I'm like, it's fine, no one can take the bikes, like, no one's gonna take the bikes, like, do you really believe someone's gonna take it? And then to him, what I got, it was about making sure things are secure, and I guess for him, like that's his opinion, and that's the opinion he carries about life, and how you do one thing is how you do all things. So sometimes I do things that's just enough. Like, it's just enough, it'll be fine. And I think that with him, he likes to do things in a certain way that's kind of more than just enough, And so I felt like he always has to come and try to tell me what I need to do, or what I'm doing is not enough. Like, in this moment, I'm having these judgments, like he has to like always be the person to like give this help that I didn't ask him for. I didn't ask him for that. I had it, So these are my judgments. So I come at him with these judgments when I'm like, well, look, I'll put my ego aside, and if you feel like you don't like the way the bikes were put up, you go put them up. And he was like, how? I said, putting your ego aside, if you won't come back and see how to get it done right. I said, well, do I really need to go back and see it? You told me that I need to lock the bikes up and put the full body of the bikes, lock the full body of the bikes up. I took a mental note of it. I don't need to see it. I'm letting you know that if you don't feel it's right, then you can go back and make it how you think it should go. And so he's like, okay, all right, because I was like, you're not going to feel right if something happens and it doesn't, and you told me about it, and you didn't go fix the problem yourself, you're going to feel a certain type of way about it. But me, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm okay with what's going on. I'm okay with how I handled it. And so in reality, you know, I sat there, and then this insight came to me, like literally in that moment, and was like, what's up with your judgments right now? Are you judging the situation how it need to go, and this judgment about like taking other people's opinion into consideration? And so then I said, you know what, Valencia, let me go back and let me go see how to properly put this bike up. Let me really put my ego aside and really, truly like take advantage of this moment to see if this can shift something for me, you know, to where I sit here and get over myself in this moment and say, you know what, I'm really gonna take the time to look and pay attention to what's going on in my life and in my world, and to see how can I make better judgments. Like, so I went back over to the bikes and I looked at him try to put the bikes up, and I paid attention to what he was doing. I literally had to get out of myself. It was finished. I said, you know what, you were right and I'm sorry, and I gave him a hug. And then we walked and we talked, and I felt like this weight was lifted off of my shoulder. So it just started coming to me. It's like that it triggered this thing in me that where I'm not doing this right, and instead of me figuring out how to do it right, I do it just enough so that it's fine. It's just enough. And sometimes doing it just enough isn't enough, you know. And if that's like the way I do things sometimes, it's like enough, it's just enough. But is it helping me to be the most successful person that I can be by continually just doing things just enough? At some point I gotta do things. It would be setting myself up to be able to pretty much do things in a manner that gets me the results that I desire. Because currently some current results in my life I'm not really satisfied with. And it's like in that moment I notice it's because I have to stop doing things that's just enough. I have to start doing things that's more than enough. So the point that really got me is we can utilize Libra to develop our judgments about what we are experiencing and recognize the value people bring to our lives. That part right there. I realized that the judgments that I was having wasn't beneficial and it wasn't really accurate. He wasn't trying to be a know-it-all. He wasn't, you know, trying to prove that I don't know what I'm doing. He just do things in the way he feel like it should be done. And what I realized is that that's value in that is that letting people be themselves and be open to be able to tell you their opinion without you being so closed-minded that and feeling like they're trying to do you something, is really beneficial. I feel like I was able to really see the value he brings to my life is that value of that it's time for me to step up and stop doing things just enough, and to just take a moment to pay attention to what I'm doing, to actually be in that moment to figure out if what I'm doing is getting me the results that I want, and that just doing stuff just enough and feeling like, nothing's gonna happen, it's gonna be okay, and all of this stuff, but is it working? Just because you can get away with something, is it really helping you to do the things that you need to do for yourself? And so yeah, like having people in your life who's willing to stand up to you and to let you know, like, you know, what you're doing is not really accurate or it's not really working. Let me give you a better way that you can do this that's beneficial, that helps you, especially when you're open to it, and then you can change your judgment about it. And so my husband and partner bring a lot of value to my life. So my question for you today is, are you stuck in judgments that's keeping you from seeing the value that people bring to your life? Try today to focus on when someone gives you their opinion, stop, think about it. Try to see how their opinion can help better your life in that moment and create a shift for you.